We're all disappointed with the announcement that Bandai Namco made concerning Blue Protocol, how they were shutting the game down before it ever released globally. However, things might not be as dire as we originally thought, as Tencent have confirmed that they are releasing a version of Blue Protocol that is also launching on PC, and that might be closer to a global release than Bandai Namco and Amazon Game Studios was. I hope you're ready. Now, if this is your first time here, consider subscribing to the channel, hitting the little bell notification, that way you remain up to date with every single thing that I post, and I post daily. Do not miss out. The Blue Protocol database posted an article on their Twitter, everything we know about Blue Protocol Star Resonance, which is the new title for the game. It is developed by Shanghai Bokuda Network. It is funded partly by Tencent. They have undergone 3 different test phases. They have gathered all of the available information and compiled a breakdown for all of you. We're gonna go through all that. Let's begin with the general and technical details. The game is labeled as an MMORPG and will be playable on PC and mobile devices. Now, I know a lot of people are gonna look at that and be like, oh no, so Blue Protocol is coming out on mobile. Yeah. This is the only way Blue Protocol is going to successfully survive. With the gargantuan success of games like Wuthering Waves, Zenless Zone Zero, Genshin Impact, and even Tower of Fantasy for a while, it is evident that cross-platform functionality, especially for MMOs, is imperative for their survival. I just hope that this is done better than Terraceland, because Terraceland, I stated in my official thoughts on the game, was a horrible PC MMO, but a very good mobile one. There is going to be a 1 character limit per account. That's kind of disappointing. Ultra wide support is confirmed. An additional beta test is confirmed. There's no ETA right now. The art style is very similar to the Japanese version, but the models have been adjusted and look similar to characters in other mobile games like Honkai Star Rail and Genshin Impact. I mean, I guess this is going to appeal to more people, given honestly the success of Hoyo's games are unparalleled. And additionally, having cross-platform functionality, just like going back like 5 seconds, this is going to open the game up to infinitely more success. This will lead to potentially significantly higher revenue and then a chance at survival. The combat seems more fast-paced, similar to popular action combat mobile games, so this is good. I know there were some people that were concerned the action combat in Blue Protocol was too slow. The overall customization and costumes look better than their Japanese counterparts, so it's good to know that the game graphically looks better than the PC version did. Aim assist and one-click combos can be turned on and off. There are different soundtracks mixed with some from the original version. PC recommended specs are the same as the Japanese version, which indicates the graphics and visuals should be at least as good as the Japanese version. Additional types of accessories were discovered, such as mouth accessories. You can switch between mobile and PC key bindings and layouts. That's very important. There's a leveling newbie guideline book in game which helps you progress and also rewards additional materials at certain milestones, which means you'll be forced to farm materials less, which I think is actually a good thing. There is an achievement system which kind of replaces the adventure boards. Some achievements reward you with unique costumes, which is great because the lack of costumes as rewards in the original version of the game was kind of sad. There's an auction house. Items available for trade include weapons, equipment, battle echoes, the imagined materials, crafting materials, enhanced materials, and costumes. This is a fantastic alteration. I think it's great that you can now trade weapons. The main trading currency is Luno, which is the in-game currency. You can also trade it for bound rose orbs, which are the premium currency listed by other players. Each player has an adventure card ID similar to the Japanese version. You can preview costumes. You can dye your costumes and customize certain character appearances using a color wheel. The color wheel has hex code. It's unknown if you can edit the hex code manually. However, you can use a color wheel freely via the mouse and finger. This is great. They are evidently delving very deeply into the customization aspect of the game. PC goes up to 120 FPS, mobile goes up to 60. Some quests reward you with cosmetic items. Camera mode includes a selfie mode option. There is a language setting in the options. Foods provide non-stackable buffs or healing effects. Some clothing and accessories can be crafted, requiring energy, corresponding materials, and blueprints. There's a dancing option at the teleport point in the main city square. Items of higher quality than gold exist. Red, level 5, but not yet implemented. Okay, so the most important thing here that was not addressed is the ability to hold hands. That was something that I know even Asmongold was excited for. Disappointed that it wasn't noted. Gacha and premium details. In the original version of Blue Protocol, Gacha was for costumes. It seems as though Gacha is going to focus on costumes here too, with a bid at 100 balls. There are 4 different rarities, with the top rarity containing certain costumes. Certain battle pass levels also reward you with energy potions. Energy is used for crafting and is replenished naturally. I don't like that. Each season pass has different seasonal achievements as a replacement for the adventure board system, which reset at the start of a new season. Each season pass has a free and paid version. This is natural for cross-platform games and for mobile games. Rewards and titles are given based on the progress of achievements. Title ranks can be displayed through badges. Badges can be enhanced, and enhancing them improves player stats and grants specific buffs. Enhanced materials are provided when advancing title ranks or can be purchased in the season pass shop. Enhancing badges consumes enhancement materials and season points. Guild details. I guess this is important. Not that we as MMO players ever really participate in guild content. They have been given a facelift, hosting completely new content which never existed in the Japanese version. The Chinese version seems to have your very own guild housing area, a shared warehouse, multiple other areas, each with specific functions for guild members to collectively grow together. That is fantastic. So honestly, what it seems like, what it feels like, is the Chinese version is implementing a significant number of changes to the game that are improving it overall. I'm just hoping the mobile functionality doesn't like hold it back from really shining. Reputation NPCs reward you with upgrade materials amongst other things, increasing reputation by donating materials. They're training dummies. Fountain of Blessing grants buffs for guild members. Weekly guild activities, a kitchen area for cooking. The guild hall features an aquarium where members can place their caught fish. So there's still going to be a fishing feature in game. There are guild vendors. You can customize large picture frames on the walls inside your guild house with screenshots taken in game. There's a shared warehouse. The guild emblem can be customized. Guild member count seems to start with a cap of 40 players. In-game voice chat for guilds is available but can be disabled. Character progression and gear. I think this is going to be kind of important because progression was very grindy from what I heard. There are 11 elements when it comes to gearing: 4 armor slots, head, chest, gloves, boots, an earring, necklace, 2 bracelets, a talisman, a ring, and a weapon. Armor and weapons cannot be crafted. They're obtained as drops or through other means or rewards. So in the original Blue Protocol, you could only obtain your weapons through crafting. You farmed materials they would use to craft your weapon via dungeons, bosses. Then you would go back and manually craft your weapon. There was no other way to obtain weapons, to my knowledge. That is being completely altered here. Now, weapons and armor cannot be crafted and are only obtained as drops, just like your traditional MMOs. You can equip an item similar to ability stones in Lost Ark. The stones have multiple nodes in each affix, and they're based on rarity. The attributes on the ability stones are RNG, and they can include both positive and negative effects. That sounds terrible. Gear and weapons are only obtainable through dungeons and not available in the cash shop. That sounds both good and bad. You cannot infinitely farm dungeons. They have daily entry limits. I hate that. I love how WoW and Final Fantasy XIV do as many as you want. I hate limitations being imposed on how many times I can run average content in an MMO. Enhanced echoes have been removed. Instead, you have different types of gear acting as your armor, similar to other MMOs. Battle echoes have a strengthening system where consuming duplicates guarantee an enhancement. You have to use materials to upgrade your skills. Defeating failed bosses reward you with skill and talent upgrade materials, and gear can be enhanced using duplicates. Seems to function similarly to class details. Are they still going to have all the available classes from the Japanese version? There are 7 classes available in the closed beta build. There is the Qinglang Knight, which is a spear user, the Iglis, which is a healer using magic rings, the Ice Mage, which is a DPS using an ice staff, the God Hunter, which is the bow user, which is a DPS, the Aegis Knight, which is the DPS using a sword and shield, the Nikana, which uses a Tachi weapon and is also DPS, and the Great Blade Guardian, which is the tank using a Great Blade. So I like the fact that they altered Amazon's terrible renaming translation of the classes, but God, some of these are still terrible. Qinglang Knight, Ice Bait, God Hunter, what are they thinking? You can level up individual skills. Upgrades are guaranteed as long as you have the materials. Some materials are obtained through gear dismantling. Some materials can also be purchased from the cash shop. That seems a little bit paid away, just a little bit. Each class has a talent tree separate from the skill tree. These talents have 3 tiers of depth. According to some testers, a talent tree available to each class branches out at least 2 different paths at some point. Based on the talent UI, each class might have 3 different talent trees to choose from, aka subclasses. Players now have jump and gliding skills, each with their own skill tree. so kind of a little bit like Genshin Impact. There are 3 fixed skills based on your class, 3 flexible skill slots that you can slot from any skill in your class tree, and 2 activatable Battle Echo Imagine slots. Each class has its very own trial based on its role. These seem to be solo trials similar to adventure rank ups from the Japanese version. That's actually good because I kind of enjoyed that. Each class has a fixed element assigned to it, which could mean that the elemental system may be less complex compared to the Japanese version. And character level remains the same, but class talent level needs to be leveled individually. Now here is content and dungeon details. Seems to have content similar to the Japanese version, which provides you with glory coins and medals. You can exchange them for costumes and other rewards. The looking for group posts can be listed similarly to the Japanese version. Dungeons have 2 difficulties, basic and hard. Basic mode dungeons can be completed solo or with multiple players, but higher difficulties require at least 3 players to enter. I don't think that was the same as the Japanese version, and the Japanese version also allowed for you to solo all content, not just solo content, but also had dungeon scale with the amount of people that entered with you. Hard mode dungeons have hard and extreme versions of certain dungeons. In hard mode dungeons, players can choose specific buff affixes similar to Mythic Pluses in World of Warcraft, provided they have the corresponding affix item. When entering a dungeon solo, players are assigned 3 AI teammates. There you go. That's the future of MMOs right there. Not only cross-platform, but also AI party members. Dungeons seem to have 2 modes, basic and hard. Hard mode split into 2 additional modes. In some difficulties, achieving certain scores grants additional rewards. A 1v1v1v1 4-player obstacle foot race game mode has been confirmed. Race your other players to the finish line, dodging oncoming attacks, status ailments, or weather effects to emerge victorious. So that's an interesting type of PvP mode, which, again, also, PvP was not present in the Japanese version. I wonder if it will be in the Chinese version. There are 20-player raids, which require at least 12 players to enter. Boss monsters in dungeons have actual patterns. Some upcoming special patterns are indicated by a timer or visual cues. I hope they're more interactive and engaging than Terrace Lands. Bosses still seem to have something similar to an elemental and stagger gauge. Dungeon boss mechanics are more complex compared to the Japanese version. This is good to see. Dungeons have optional additional tasks you can complete for extra rewards. Dodging certain enemy attacks have iframes, perfect dodges. Okay, combat UI seems to be way better and less bloated. Good to hear. Talent tree branching is confirmed. The same classes can have different talents and skill builds. It's also good to hear. There are raid bosses. They have a contribution meter similar to a DPS meter. This is going to cause a lot of toxicity in game. Dungeons have additional loot for which players roll a dice. The winner gets the loot. That's going to cause a lot of friction between team members. Overworld zone details. There are reduced loading screens, fantastic. I'm glad that it's going to be more open. Zones that were originally broken up by loading screens have been opened up by unlocking Vista points. Cool. The overworld zones feature multiple jump and parkour glide puzzles and quests with a quiz-like system. Okay, so they're including more things to do out in the world. Monster drops, gathering, and fishing materials can be used for cooking, which requires energy. Energy replenishes over time. I hate stamina in games. It's a terrible inclusion. Energy potions can be bought in the guild shop. Fishing is possible in the open world. There are chests in the open world that can be unlocked by completing mini-games similar to Genshin. Wall running and terrain scaling is possible, so you can run up walls. Okay, yeah, so just like Wuthering Waves, you can climb mountains, scale terrain. Yeah, this is very Genshin and Wuthering Waves inspired, 100%. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think these are actually huge for the game. The gliding and sprinting skills need to be obtained at specific points on the map, and these skills have a duration. What the fuck? That sounds ridiculous. After exploration, players must revisit the corresponding points to reacquire them. What? Fishing and cooking. The fishing skill is proficiency level. I hate fishing in games, man. Fishing rods may break. Chance of damage varies depending on the quality. You need to purchase bait, which varies in quality. There is a leaderboard mechanism where players can rank the size of their fish. There's a research mechanism where you can study caught fish. Higher research levels make it easier to catch specific types of fish. A fishing log exists with different regions and maps offering different fish species. I mean, that's kind of cool if you like that. Some areas on the map and zone contain physical fish, which you can catch. Well, I don't know what that means, like run into the water and like beat them with your fist into submission. Cooking is now a system. The quality of cooked products varies, which is RNG. It's disappointing. And there was a message to the Japanese players, and that is it. That is all the information right now that we have for the new version of Blue Protocol. Honestly, from what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing, I like the sound of this. I think this could potentially be very cool. But at the same time, I think it also has the chance to be really bad. I think the mobile crossplay functionality could severely hinder the game if they don't handle this correctly, but at the same time, I think all of these alterations to make this into a much better game overall are fantastic. I think judging this game purely because it's going to have a mobile version before actually playing it is a bad idea, and we should be just as excited, if not even more excited, knowing it's going to open the game up to potentially several times larger of an audience. Hey you, where do you think you're going? Don't you close out of this tab. I didn't give you permission to do that. Sit your ass back down. Click one of the 2 videos that are going to be on screen in just a moment and keep watching my content. Keep enjoying my content.